Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started. Roman Reigns was no stranger to pro wrestling when he joined WWE as a member of the legendary NOI family. Triple H has been with the company for almost 30 years and in the industry for 40. The wrestling executive is now opening up on his first impression of Reigns after seeing many grapplers come and go while witnessing others lead Hall of Fame careers. The original Tribal Chief joined WWE in 2010 after a noted football career at Georgia Tech, where he majored in management. Then known as Leah Key, the Bloodline leader arrived in the FCW developmental territory and remained until it was rebranded to NXT in 2010, which saw officials repackage the NFL prospect as Roman Reigns. The developmental system was being managed and expanded by Triple H and his team, which included industry legends like Dusty Rhodes. WWE's chief content officer was impressed after his first meeting with the son of Sika. The Game appeared on the Roommates show this week and talked about how some wrestlers just have, while others simply do not. He revealed how his first encounter with Roman went and what he told the American Dream. In our world, it's hard sometimes. There are people that you think, this guy's going to be a big star, and it doesn't. He might be a big star, but he's not the game changer of the industry. Then there's people like, the first time I ever met Roman Reigns, I had just taken over and sort of started what would become our developmental system, and he had just transitioned over from football to being in our developmental system. And the first day I met him, I sat down with him for like 20 minutes just to get to know him a little bit. Triple H said. From 20 to 2034. The Game continued on about his first meeting with Roman Reigns. I walked out of the interview, and at the time, Dusty Rhodes was working developmental with me. And I walked up and said, if that kid's not the biggest star we ever have in 10 years, I don't know what we're doing. Like, holy S asterisk asterisk T. He's got everything. When he walked in the room, you couldn't help but look and go, who's that? He has an innate X-Factor charisma. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes it's the guy you just don't see it in them. And you think, he's good, athletic, this and that. But it's really the character stuff. Sometimes it clicks, sometimes it doesn't. There's no science to it. But it's a feel, Triple H said. From 2035 to 2119, Triple H and Roman Reigns have shared the ring on 6 occasions. Reigns won their first ever singles match to capture the World Heavyweight Championship in the 27-minute main event of WrestleMania 32. Their second and last one-on-one bout saw Roman retain the Intercontinental Championship in December 2017 at a non-televised live event in Abu Dhabi. Roman Reigns set for major WWE Raw match. Roman Reigns is set to return to the ring on January 6th during the big WWE Raw Netflix premiere from Los Angeles. Unless he wrestles before then, this will mark Reigns' first singles match since losing to Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania XL. The original Tribal Chief will make his red brand in-ring return in a tribal combat match against Solo Sikoa. The new Tribal Chief is currently in possession of Roman Reigns' Ulafala, and the piece will be on the line in this match. The first Raw of 2025 will air live from the Intuit Dome in Los Angeles. CM Punk vs. Seth Rollins was also confirmed, plus an appearance by John Cena. A major former AEW star is also rumored to debut that night. Sitting under the glaring lights of a WWE Network special, Triple H leaned back in his chair, a nostalgic smile gracing his face. The subject of conversation was one of WWE's most polarizing and dominant figures, Roman Reigns. The King of Kings had plenty of stories to share about his early encounters with the Tribal Chief, and tonight, he was ready to delve into his first impression of the man who would become the head of the table. A legacy under scrutiny. When I first heard about Roman Reigns, Triple H began, his voice steady yet tinged with amusement. I didn't even know him as Roman. He was Joe Anoa'i. His name came up when we were scouting talent for NXT. At the time, everyone was buzzing about him. Not just because he was part of the Anoa'i dynasty, but because he was physically imposing, had a great athletic background, and frankly, had the kind of look Vince would salivate over. Triple H chuckled, briefly breaking the tension. But here's the thing about wrestling families. Having the pedigree doesn't guarantee success. I've seen it go both ways. For every rock, there's someone who doesn't quite make the jump. So, naturally, I was cautious. The meeting. Hunter described the day he first met Joe Anoa'i in person. It was during a closed-door tryout at the WWE Performance Center. Reigns had arrived with a chip on his shoulder, exuding confidence but not arrogance. The moment he walked in, you couldn't ignore him, Triple H admitted. He had this aura, a quiet intensity that just demanded attention. You could tell he was someone who didn't need to shout to be heard. The game watched from the sidelines as the aspiring superstar moved through drills, showcasing his football-trained athleticism. He had the agility of someone half his size, Triple H said, nodding. But what really caught my attention wasn't just the way he moved, it was the way he carried himself. He was poised, composed. Even in a room full of other hungry talent, he seemed like he belonged. Still, Triple H wasn't sold. I'll be honest. I wasn't sure if he had it. Wrestling's not just about looking good or being athletic. It's about connecting with people. It's about storytelling, charisma. And at that moment, Joe felt raw, untapped potential. A conversation that changed everything. The turning point, according to Triple H, came during a brief conversation after the tryout. While most talents were either nervously over-explaining themselves or waiting quietly for feedback, Roman approached Triple H with confidence but respect. He came up to me and said, "I know I've got a lot to learn, but I'm ready to put in the work." It wasn't what he said. It was how he said it. No excuses, no entitlement, just a willingness to grind. That stuck with me. Triple H leaned forward, his tone growing more serious. That's when I realized Joe wasn't just another legacy kid looking for a shortcut. He was hungry but humble. He wanted to earn his spot, not inherit it. That's rare, and it's something I never forgot. The Shield experiment. When Roman officially signed with WWE, Triple H played a pivotal role in shaping his early career. He recounted how the Shield, Roman, Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose, was conceived as a way to bring fresh faces to the main roster while protecting their individual weaknesses. We knew Roman had the look, the presence, but he needed time to develop on the mic and as a solo act. Triple H explained. Putting him with Seth and Dean wasn't just about creating a faction. It was about creating a safety net. Those two were workhorses who could carry the in-ring storytelling while Roman learned the ropes. But let me tell you, he picked it up faster than anyone expected. Hunter smiled as he recalled Roman's progression. By the time the Shield hit their stride, it was clear Roman wasn't just holding his own. He was becoming a star in his own right. Fans might not have realized it yet, but I could see it. He had this innate ability to step into the spotlight without overshadowing his teammates. That's leadership, and it's something you can't teach. The early backlash. Despite Roman's obvious potential, Triple H admitted there were challenges. When WWE began positioning Reigns as the face of the company, the backlash was swift and unforgiving. Fans rejected him, seeing him as a corporate choice rather than an organic star. I won't lie, it was tough to watch. Triple H said, his expression somber. I knew Roman had the tools to succeed, but timing is everything in this business. And at that point, the fans weren't ready to embrace him. He paused, then added, "But here's what impressed me the most. Roman never let it break him. He didn't complain, didn't point fingers. He just kept showing up, putting in the work, proving himself day by day. That kind of resilience is what separates the good from the great." The transformation. Triple H's admiration for Roman reached new heights when Reigns reinvented himself as the Tribal Chief in 2020. The transformation marked a turning point in his career, earning widespread acclaim and cementing his status as one of WWE's top stars. When I saw him as the Tribal Chief for the first time, I was blown away, Triple H admitted, his eyes lighting up. That's when everything clicked. This was the Roman Reigns I always knew he could be. Confident, commanding, authentic. He wasn't playing a character. He was the character. The decision to pair Roman with Paul Heyman was, according to Triple H, a stroke of genius. Paul brought out a different side of Roman. He didn't overshadow him. He amplified him. Together, they created something special, something real. And that's why the fans finally got behind him. Not because we told them to, but because he earned it. A lasting legacy. As the conversation drew to a close, Triple H reflected on Roman's journey and his place in WWE history. My first impression of Roman was that he had potential.